I want to turn now to Ron Hosko, a former assistant director of the FBI and a CBS News security consultant. Ron, are you surprised that it took so long to find this man?
You know, Rena, I think that the police certainly surged their efforts, pulled in the range of federal resources, and I think did a very nice job with the media in trying to get this information to the public. But you have to realize that if somebody wants to drop off the radar for a period of time, it's still fairly easy to do, even when you have that intensive of an effort to find you. And all it takes is turning off your phone or throwing away your phone, staying away from your bank cards, avoiding giving off an electronic fingerprint that will give the police an opportunity to catch up with you. So I think they did a very effective job here. And I like the speakers did at the news conference, credit the media and credit the public for getting the word out, and for the public in listening and paying attention brought this to a conclusion.
Ron, he claimed to have killed more than a dozen people. Police don't have specific information to that. So where does the investigation go with that as sort of one component to this?
Yeah, I think as your correspondent mentioned, moving forward here really means moving backward. It is really looking at a pattern of life analysis. They will probably leverage some FBI behavioral folks, but they'll try to bring together all of the electronics and look at what did this killer's life look like before this event. Before his life started to spiral downward, what was his pattern of life? Where did he go? Who did he associate with? And try to bring those pieces together, particularly that cell phone and electronic records, to see patterns of where he went, and then look in those areas for missing people. And it could well be that, and it sounded like the Cleveland police and others already conducted some searches and didn't find anything in some abandoned buildings, but it could be that they don't find any missing persons reports and there are no additional victims. Let's certainly hope so.
And it's my understanding, Ron, that at one point police were able to actually contact him on his cell phone, reach him, talk to him, but weren't able to convince him to turn himself in. What goes on in a conversation like that?
You know, you're trying to very quickly develop some rapport and focus that subject on you as somebody who will listen to him, who can empathize with him, and ultimately navigate him into a situation where he feels comfortable surrendering or coming into the police. What the police don't want is another violent encounter that costs their lives, that involves the public and takes the lives of somebody in the public. So if you can develop that rapport and somehow empathize with his situation, knowing full well that he is a killer, you're trying to eliminate that harm, that potential harm to even the killer himself or the police or the public.
Do you think that Facebook now, Ron, has a responsibility to change its policy in light of this particular incident?
You know, I do think that many of the social media and the online sites are constantly looking at how they do business. The reality is we very much live in a society today that seems to be a selfie-driven, look-at-me society. And that includes elements of our society that are dehumanizing and desensitizing and re-victimizing. And you see on social media and a range of sites now where you see the re-victimization, and that happened with Mr. Godwin here. Every time that killing is retransmitted, he and his family are victimized again. So I think it would be incumbent on Facebook and others who do this sort of business to look at ways to prevent this sort of imagery going up on their sites.
All right, Ron Hosko, they've clearly got their man, but still so many questions. Thank you for joining us, Ron.
My pleasure.